McDonald's removes AI-generated ad after backlash. This is an amazing story. McDonald's in the Netherlands put out a festive you can call it festive, I guess, AI-generated holiday ad calling Christmas the most terrible time of the year, which they elaborated on in a statement that it was meant to highlight the stressful moments during Christmas in the Netherlands. The ad features a compilation of unrealistic Christmas events going wrong, like opening your tree and the branches flinging you out of your front window, or Santa and his reindeer causing a traffic jam. Their solution? Wait till January in a McDonald's. The online criticism mostly regarded the use of AI slop replacing genuine human work. Melanie Bridge, the CEO of the studio behind the ad, however, clapped back and said it's about expanding the toolbox, the vision, the taste, the leadership that will always be human, and further defended their ad, claiming the hours that went into this job far exceeded a traditional shoot. Why then? Why? 10 people, 5 weeks, full time. Discussion question: Is AI the solution to accomplishing shoots like this with limited resources? If the AI shots didn't include people, would that make it more acceptable?
Okay, so first up, 5 weeks full time would not be nearly enough to do that shoot with people. Because what about all the extras? Like, what about all of the human actors? Like, never mind the editors and storyboarders and director and camera operators.
No, 10 people, 5 weeks full time.
Yeah, I know, still. 10 people, 5 weeks full time, bullshit.
Okay, yeah, sure. I thought you were saying there was 5 weeks full time of total hours put in.
Oh, no, sorry.
10 times that.
No,
but
like, with all the logistics involved, with that many shots, I can tell you as someone who does video things, there's no way that they could make that exact commercial. Like, there would have had to be, like, so sure, CGI work. Like, no, there's no way. Yeah. Absolutely freaking no way.
Well, they're not saying making that exact video. They're saying making a 44-second McDonald's ad.
Sure, but like...
No, like that was specifically their point.
Okay.
I'm not trying to defend them. I'm just saying. They weren't saying they would make this exact
far
video.
Exceeded a traditional shoot. Okay, so what's their defense then? That they paid more labor hours than they would have, but they got a better commercial.
That they didn't use it to like cut the effort, I guess. Which, like, what a whiff if that's the case. Because what was the benefit? It doesn't look particularly good, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest with you. As far as like commercials go, I actually thought it was kind of cute. Like, I don't look at it and go, this commercial is so bad I couldn't watch it.
There are definitely things that they did in this that are pretty normal for commercials like this, like the cookie talking in the oven.
Yep.
There's like for sure ad campaigns that have had that, and that would be very expensive to do and definitely take more time, like you were saying.
Yep. I don't know, man. I can also fully understand why people are mad about it, because there is definitely stuff that doesn't look professional, like the way the cat jumps on the tree and the physics are completely wrong. It sucks. Have I just given up to the point where I'm accepting this garbage? Is that what's happening?
There was parts of this that was just so unnecessarily AI, which is strange. I'm wondering if the studio that did it is like an AI studio and they're shoehorning it into things. Because like there's stuff here that like it's just so unnecessary. Like the cookie, okay, I can understand you like saving a bunch of time by having AI animate a talking cookie instead of doing it yourself. But there's a lot of stuff that's just, why? If you just did it normally, it would have looked better and taken less time. Sick. This is very weird.
Yeah, this is a tough one. It's very clear that this is going to happen. I am honestly surprised that McDonald's even pulled it down, though. Like what? Coke did one last year, and then their new one, they did it again. They just didn't have humans in it, which is like completely missing the point. And is anyone even mad about Cokes this year?
I'm not sure. Coca-Cola 2025. Let's see.
Tim's got an interesting take. I just don't care. It's an ad. I'm never going to watch the ad anyway.
Nice. Okay. I mean, I think people might not like it that much. One of the top comments on the video with 22,000 upvotes is the most profitable commercial in Pepsi's history. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good, but it's also pretty...
it also got 1.6 million views.
It's also pretty echo chambery.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's been interesting, over the last, let's say, week or two, seeing how self-important some communities can think that they are and how influential
for sure
they might think that they are. Like, you look at Reddit, for instance. Something can front page Reddit, with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of upvotes. But what are the odds? Like, think about it. What are the odds if you went to the park by your house and talked to somebody there,
that they'd have any idea what the heck is
that they would
going
have
on?
any idea about any of it?
Yeah, it's
functionally zero.
As someone who tries to not be, but is a little bit too chronically online, I have to remind myself of this sometimes. And I had a very recent conversation where someone was talking about how something is like such a hot button issue and you have to be careful about it. And I was like, I don't think so with practically anyone, unless you are extremely chronically online.
Like a perfect example.
People have no idea what you're talking about.
Like a perfect example of that would be like the Harry Potter thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you're chronically online, and especially if you exist within certain communities or counter communities,
yes,
it's like,
then you'll know about it.
It's like a major like it's a culture war thing, right? But if one of if one of my kids' friends comes over and I'm like, oh, what do you think of Harry Potter? They're just like, oh, I love Harry Potter. Like, they don't know about any of that.
Have no clue what's going on.
I talk to their parents, like, oh yeah, your kid says they like Harry Potter. They're like, oh yeah, Harry Potter, the lightning bolt thing, with the scar, right? Like, they don't care. They don't know. They don't care.
Yeah. There's other things going on. They got other things to care about.
And
it's interesting.
Yeah, Angry Panda PC says, but I am important, and I agree. You're important. Everyone's important, but not everyone is important to everyone else.
Here's another weird thing. Even if you are chronically online, these days, it doesn't even necessarily matter that much because your feeds are so heavily algorithmic that you probably still are out of the loop on so many things. Because like I remember there was a thread on Reddit recently about how YouTube unlisted all of their rewinds.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I remember being on YouTube back in the day. And like if there was something big happening on YouTube, as someone who went to YouTube, you would just know that. But now, we were talking before the show, there was a creator in our space with over 1 million subscribers that neither of us had ever heard of.
Yeah.
Because they made a type of content in our space that we just wouldn't happen to come across.
Alyssa Jean Puppy says, if a person behind a franchise spends all her money on wanting to stop making me exist, I think boycotting is really the least you could do. My point...
We're not saying anything about that.
My point wasn't what people should or shouldn't do. My point was that they don't know.
Yes. That is the only point.
You can't care about something that you literally don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that we often live in echo chambers and in communities where the issues that are very important to us, like, like what would be an example that would be like a really tech community? Like, okay, what percentage of people, if you went to the mall, right, and you went and talked to somebody, what percentage of people there would know that DDR memory is expensive?
Yeah. And the impact of that on the world.
Of the ones who knew, what percentage of them would be impacted? Like, out of computer enthusiasts, so you've got your total population, right? Then you've got your like tech enthusiast bubble. And then within that bubble, you've got the people who are actually shopping for a new computer right now, who are actually spending money right now. And then Like that's it. It's this tiny little fraction. And so yeah, there's people who are very mad, who are following this whole AI thing, and particularly, generative AI video, and out of that, the people who sort of care about the replacement of labor of the cinematographers and the actors and the writers and all the people who would have otherwise worked on this. And I think it's just like, yeah, you could probably easily find, what did that top comment have? Like 20,000, 22,000 upvotes.
Yeah.
Those 22,000 people, they matter. Those are living, breathing souls with blood coursing through their veins.
And they're also an incredibly tiny percentage of the global population. Alyssa Jean Puppy, hopefully I said that right, said in Floatplane chat, okay, but J.K. Rowling is all over the news about that. At least in the UK, which is just another version. She's not over here because she's not from over here. She's from over there.
And she's not trying to influence legislation over here. And we're aware because we're terminally online.
Yeah.
But but you got a geographical filter.
We're not trying.
Then you've got a keeps up with the news filter. Then you've got a cares about this issue filter. And then you've got a even remembers it filter. There's so many layers until you get down to what can be a very large number of people.
And especially over the last decent amount of years, there's been a lot of difficulty going around, and
yeah,
people might be struggling to survive at all themselves, and the issues that applied very directly to them is going to be what's important to them when they're fighting for survival all the time. They have to deal with their own problems, right? They have to put their mask on first, and it's tough, but
Cato-esque asks, so then do people outside the US think Elon Musk is great then? A lot of people think Elon Musk is pretty great. That's the whole point we're trying to make.
Don't care at all.
Or just don't care at all. Yeah. Yes. The answer is yes. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
Incredible amount of people in the world that don't even know who he is.
Yes. That's a thing. I know. It seems crazy, right? In our tech sphere, right? How could anyone in the tech sphere not have heard of the Techno King, as he self-proclaimed himself to be a number of years back, right?
In D260 said there are idiots through the whole world. We're not saying they're idiots.
No. That's not what we're saying at all. Some of them might be.
The fact is that education is a problem? No.
No, that's not what we're saying at all. We're saying that there's a whole wide world out there with many, many interests and many, many priorities, and not everybody shares them. And in this algorithmically curated world that we live in,
you might literally just never see it.
And we may, and that is in a lot of ways by design. On the platforms, what percentage of subreddits that exist do you imagine you've been personally exposed to? Dude, I've been kind of hooked on r/all over the last week. I try not to get too into the Reddit black hole.
r/what?
All.
Oh.
Just and it's just it is realistically a handful. Am I the asshole? PCMR shows up there every once in a while. Comics shows up a fair bit. There's it's probably over the span of a week, several dozen subreddits that contribute to the majority of the vastly uploaded or upvoted content on the site. But there are what is it up to? Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands?
I have no
idea. Are we at millions of subreddits? How many subreddits are there?
3.8 million.
What percentage of them do you think you've been exposed to?
3.8 million as of 11 months ago.
So, and yeah, Len, or however I pronounce this in Floatplane chat says, y'all just got to ignore this stuff. I never get to see it, and I'm so happy I don't have to. My feed is just cool stuff and DIY.
And that's also
that's exactly our point.
For people that are terminally online, it is somewhat surprising to hear that a ton of people have recognized that being constantly dialed into everything that is happening in the world, and how the fact that the further we move away from local news and we move closer to global news, and like back in the day, you could have a newspaper that's talking about like the fair that's happening in town, so there isn't going to be all that much really horrible things because you're centralized to a smaller area.
Yeah, it was a different kind of bubble. It was a more geographical bubble.
Yeah. When you're now looking at more global news and you look at the news that's going to float to the top, it's going to be the most rage-baiting, crazy, horrible things possible, because that's what's going to get more views. So you're only going to get news about all of the most horrible possible things happening, and it's really bad in a lot of ways for your brain. That doesn't mean that not being that dialed in is, for example, an education problem or an ignorance problem or being stupid.
I mean, it's literally an ignorance problem, but
sure.
but maybe not a problem. It literally is ignorance.
In a negative way, yeah. It might be ignorance, but not necessarily an ignorance problem. To certain people, they don't want to be exposed to that pipeline of extreme constant negativity because it can be bad for you. Or it's just, they got other stuff going on.
I76969Hex says people should be informed. Noble sentiment.
How many things do you not know about? You're speaking English. Do you know everything that's happening in China right now?
I don't.
Like,
I know Hassan's Billy stream got turned off. Which is pretty
sure. Do you know? Like, yeah. Do you? I don't know. There's so many layers to that, and like your level of knowledge does not mean that everyone else's level of knowledge is inferior. There are an incredible amount of things that I know nothing about that I'm sure are incredibly important. And I have no clue.
Yeah. And again, like, we're not trying to argue that that's the way it should be. That ain't the argument. We're just pointing out that is how it is. Not everyone cares about AI or AI slop. Or
yeah, dude, the amount of people that are just totally ignoring and don't care about that at all is
super high,
very high.
And the number of people who are like, yeah, let's go, also very high.
Yes,
and that is fact. Sorry.
Yeah.
Am I gonna have to do a shirt over this? Sorry, AI is a thing. Like
oh man,
because I'll do a shirt. I don't mind. I could do trust me, bro. AI is the thing. Hashtag #AdBlock is piracy. We'll combine all the scandals.
It's like, sorry, the things that you do know are probably less important than the myriads of things that you don't.
Ooh.